myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What is going on? Welcome into Pregaming here, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Sports money. You already know what we do. We're going to get after that cash. And we got ourselves a nice little Thursday card stacked in the NHL. Stacked. Man, I had to slim that thing down. But we've got the NBA's got a 3-pack of games for us tonight. Not the biggest college basketball card, but we still got some sharp betting analysis there. And then Thursday night football. Yeah, we got a side. Yeah, we're looking at a teaser. And yeah, we're going to run back the 2-touchdown parlay. And if you guys missed yesterday's cashing live stream, you know nobody does it better across YouTube than the Sports Money team. We crushed it yesterday. Gave out that 13-1, it was almost 13.5-1 parlay live on the show. Cashed that thing throughout the day. And we're going to do it again tonight. So if you guys missed out on yesterday's free money live stream, don't miss out on tonight. The dynamic teaming of razor sharp picks and the Sports Money crew. We're going to do what we do. Appreciate all you guys coming in here, hanging out with us tonight. We will get to the business here. We got our guy, Miggin and Max, going to join us later in the show. And man, let me say this. Texas folk don't fuck around when it comes to their college football, man. I drop a little note out there in the SEC. The son of a bitch blew up. It went viral. We got over 100,000 views. Woo! Them Texas guys take that football seriously. And it's a lot of fun, man. Holy cow. Holy gosh. Just echoing and reiterating my sentiment that Arch Manning's not playing in Texas next year. That's all I said. That's all I said. I said it here. We say a lot of things here. But we're amongst friends, so that makes it okay. Once you let the rest of Twitter know, holy cow. It's literally just blowing up. But it's fun. It's going to have a fun night tonight, you guys. I hope you guys are ready. I'm ready. And it's time to put the bookies on notice. Thursday brings us to Friday. It's the weekend. And then we roll back again Saturday night for the last UFC live stream of 2024. We'll have to see if we can find some more to squeeze in there as we look to finish off the calendar year strong. Big money to be made, and it's going to start tonight. So get yourselves ready. Get all them holiday gifts paid for here in the next couple of days with what we do at Sports Money. And listen, we need your guys' help. Got to hit that thumbs up button. Slacking yesterday. We were in the lows. We had like one of the lowest I think we've ever had in the show. I understand we're stacking up some winning days. They're not bangers. We're due for a banger. Maybe tonight's the banger, but we're stacking in the black. Every day you're in the black is a good day. And all we need you to do is hit that thumbs up button to keep us rolling here. Keep things moving. In fact, why don't you take the time to do so right now? Close that comment section, hit that thumbs up button, and then pop back in here so we can get to work. We got a lot of work to do tonight, so let's go. Let's go. It's going to be a great night. I'm fired up. I'm ready. I'm going to put a same game parlay together as well in between this show and the live stream so you guys can get ready for that. Shout out to Trans Canada. He's going to try to make some money off of hey, just percentage is all I need. Just a percentage, Trans Canada. Nothing lofty, just 80% for me and 20% for, well, you know what? 70-30 sounds fair. 70-30 sounds like a good split arrangement. What a night. What a full hockey card. You know, I don't know if Crystal Craig's in here or not, but she made a comment the other day, and I totally agree. The schedule makers are fucking assholes when it comes to whoops. Now it really does matter. That first 8 minutes, but they're jerks is what they are. At this point, coming right off the hop and putting 14 games together in the NHL tonight? And then what do we got? One tomorrow. One game. You know how much work you got to do to come through a card of 14 games and make sure you don't leave anything off the table? Yikes. I'll tell you what, we're going to start tracking tonight. The Austin Matthews first and last goal scorer props, plus 700 for the first, plus 900 for the last. And I mentioned that the other day. And we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see just how it progresses. I might throw a couple dollars on both of those sides. The Ducks and the Leafs will pop off at 7. No real action for me in that game there. The Ducks did us dirty last night. In fact, what was it, a 4-3? I think it was a 4-3 day yesterday. Let's take a look here. I just deleted a couple of spots in the banners on accident. And so some of those were from last night because I was trying to free up some space here. Let's see. Yesterday. You know, I get out of my comfort zone with the first period. I went with that Sabres first period, winning 5 straight at home, and they lost. 1-0, but they lost. We did cash on the under 6. It was plus money. It was plus 108. So it's a loss. We just didn't need any juice on that loss. We did cash the under 6.5. Easy deal out there, 3-2. And it was only because Tage Thompson scores at the last minute of that game. Otherwise, it would have looked even uglier for Buffalo. We did cash on Duquesne in Maine. That's a fun one to say. Duquesne in Maine, under 133.5 cash for us. Trae Young. You know, I told you guys to shop that thing around. It was 19.5, it was 20.5, and it was 21.5. So, didn't matter. You got 22. So we cashed. But you lost if you had 22.5. So very important that, especially in the prop game, you shop those things around. I mentioned the Ducks did us dirty, man. They weren't even close. 5-1. And now you're going to try to take them again against a Toronto Maple Leafs team that should just kick the ever-loving snot out of them? Not me. No way. How about ULL? Yeah, Cajuns, man. It was ugly. That was ugly, and it presented plenty of live betting opportunity. They were laying 4. Got him as high as 9, plus 9. And then, of course, when you're sitting there plus 9, looking at a minus 4, you got to take a little money line action. So that was good cash. And then Houston minus 2. Did not get there for us. They won by 1. So they finally broke the streak of 15 straight losses against the Golden State Warriors. But they did not cover the 2. It's funny because I don't know what point of the evening I was at. I mean, I guess it was later in the evening. So I can imagine I was glowing. And with the last 45 seconds of the game, I snuck a Houston Rockets plus 500 live bet out there. And it cashed. So you got to take advantage of these live bets, especially this is where we talk about some of these trends, right? When we're looking at sides and totals and knowing when to use your live bet strategy in there, because you want to make sure that you can, make strategic decisions around when you fire. And fire we will tonight. So get yourselves ready. Let's go. Let's see what we got going on here in the chat. You guys know the deal. It's time to grab that pen and paper. The best in the business lineup right here. They're going to give you guys their looks, all the action to cook the books. They've been marinating on the card all day. They're going to share trends and angles, things that you're going to want to take away for later. Get that pen and paper ready. And, of course, make those plays in the chat. Let's see what you guys have going on there. And we can get this thing rolling. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? I don't think so. I think we're ready to roll. I think we're in good shape here. If you guys haven't done so, though, do take a second to go into the community tab on YouTube and make sure you smash that vote for us here. The poll is up to, let's see what we're up to. 92 views, 92, I don't know. We got 113 votes. 113 votes. Now, I've talked about this before. The poll, the community poll, primetime games, 22, 9, and 2. The edge has gone 22, 9, and 2, and there is a clear edge right now. I'm still blowing up from this thing. Man, Crazy. What was I saying? 22, 9, and 2. 59% of the bets, or posts, I guess. 59% of the picks. Our community's picks. 59% have taken the San Francisco 49ers, laying the 3. Interesting spot. But there's a thumbs up issue right there. 113 votes, 9 thumbs up. What's going on? I got more like buttons for my bad Arch Manning take with people that are hating all over me than we get likes in the community tab trying to give out that free information. I don't know what's going on. Our guy Gonzo's got his information out there as well. He's got a nice little run, 20-14-1 NHL picks out there. He's got a 3-pack for you guys, so make sure you check those out. And there's Joe T, our number 1 commenter, coming in right off the hop with his team. The LA Rams. Not concerned whatsoever about the fact that they just came off that giant victory against the Buffalo Bills. Not concerned. Not 1 ounce of fear with a 2-game winning streak for our guy, Jover, Joe T, J-Ove, whatever you want to call him. You know he's looking at the Rams +3 out there. Shout out to TransCanada. Shout out to Nicholas Handy. Let's go, my guy. Appreciate you. Barry's in the house. Peter Grassi is here. Gonzo, let's go. Robert McCormick. Trisha M. There's already a midday money. Shout out to Picks from Dave. Says, here it is. What's up, Picks from Dave? It's good to see you jumping in here, my friend. Ken says, you got to leverage that 100,000 views up. Tell me what I should be doing. What's the count at? Let's take a look. Let me refresh. Tell me what I should do with it. I don't know how to leverage it. What do we got? 107,000 views. 107,000 views. Unbelievable. And by the way, like I said, filled with hate, highly contested and hated statement. Yet, what do we got? 81. I got 81 comments. I got 108 likes. 108 likes. Full of hate. And I still got 108 likes. We got 9 thumbs up on the community post. Come on. It's going to be a great night. Justin McCalvey says sports money is money. I appreciate you, my dude. Battle of Pennsylvania, but we know he's on a Falcons game. Irish Kings in the house. Jay Peasy's in here, rocking and rolling with us. There's Crystal Craig. Yeah, it is. Shout out to Joe W. I saw that post, Crystal. I saw you're running hot as well. Get it done. Get that cash. Stop, Geo. Let's go. Dan Kelly says you need one of those 7-second delay mute buttons, pimp. I got to get a dump button? In here now? You're probably right. AOD wants to assault the bookies. Robert McCormick. Appreciate him rocking with us here. Big games today. Soccer has been fire lately for me. It has been fire for me too. Nasty Nate says, I need some winners because I'm out here Christmas shopping. We'll get that covered. Shout out to Dana Delp, ready to roll. Stop Geo says, Picks from Dave. Happy holidays to you, brother. Stop Geo says, heck yeah, that NHL under yesterday was bullseye. Yes, it was. Shout out to Coin. Oldies in the house says, what up, you dirty dogs? Coin's got Detroit plus 11.5. Toronto first half plus 6 and Toronto plus 10. Little NBA action for our man Coin. Barry says, I never laid 2. Just take the money line. Yeah, I probably should have. Obviously, I should have. Obviously, that was the right play. Luke Murphy's in the house. Shout out to Luke. Good to see Luke Murphy here rocking with us. Keith, each and every stride. Got the Stafford interception at minus 120. Fernando Mendoza's here rocking with us. Tarek B. I like the Jets in Edmonton on the NHL. 49ers in the NFL. Pistons with the points leaning. Raptors. Joe T says, such a joke. Niners. And Captain Cards. What up, Captain Cards? Debo Script Night. Over 29 rushing yards at plus 131 and anytime touchdown. Ricky Levine's in the house. Officials for tonight. Clay Martin Dogs are 62-38. Visiting dogs 37-15 of less than 3.5 are 19-2. Hit the like button. Appreciate you adding the hit the like button in there. These are the things you got to write down. We talk about these trends. Man, we got the bounce going again here on this battle station that is my worthless office desk. Shout out to Peter Gracia says, Niners, gonna be pretty money. Trans-Canada. He said 100,000 bots. I don't think so, man. Those bots are out commenting with fucking piss and vinegar. They're mad. They mad. I told that one dude that everyone else is basically too slow to figure it out. They're all playing checkers. We're playing chess. Let's go. Gifting a membership from our guy, Old E, in the house, rocking with us. Appreciate you, Old E. Real one. Rocking, representing, supporting the team, growing our community selfishly. Not selfishly, selfishly. Appreciate Old E rocking and rolling with us here. Cheers. Cheers. Robert McCormick wants to live in New Mexico State. And there's Juggler 23 popping in. 2-1 yesterday. Under the total was 73-45 over the last 4 seasons when one team was on 2 days rest and the opponent was playing a 3rd and 8 days game. Raptors Heat under 225.5. Okay. Let's go. How about we start? We already started. What do you mean? We already started. You know the deal here with CMAC on Thursdays? Keep it a little more cash. More cash up in here. No graphics. Just this graphic. Just this graphic that you see here on the screen. Juggler 23 says 49ers minus 2.5. 3-unit play. Purdy pays well on primetime games. And Joe's W. Give him the comment. 4-0. I saw that. JPZ. There we go. There's no way the Rams win this game. No way. Let's go. Where do you want to start? What's the screen say? Oh, we always start with hockey, right? We always start in the NHL. Look, I'll go down the rip. There's a couple spots. I told you a lot of games that I want to get involved with here. I think the Flyers kicked the absolute piss out of the Red Wings here. At home, fired up, feeling good. And you got an oscillating line. It's market stabilization, meaning some folks have asked me what I mean by that too. Somebody opens up early, and then the rest of the books kind of read and react from that opening line. So that's why it's the most important to find the first number that hits the street. We talked about this like 2 weeks ago. I think it was on a Saturday show actually with Guns, and depending on that number that you're seeing, it's going to give you maybe it's a false positive, maybe it's a false confirmation when you see that the line's not moving. But the reality is 2 weeks prior, that line had a higher number or a lower number. So you got to get that first number on the street. So when I talk about line oscillation here or market correction, this opens up at minus 146. It's dropped to minus 120. So on the surface, you would say, boy, that line's steaming away from the Flyers. Well, then you look at the Red Wings side, it's gone from plus 122 to plus 126. So it's just the market correcting itself based on how the opening number, I think what they're looking at there is the first book and, what kind of action did that attract? So they're, the second and third books down the line that open up are just kind of capping the early bird, if you will. And there's a lot of cash coming in on the Flyers. So it makes sense. I think it's a good Flyer spot. A little rusty. You got Cam Talbot going in goal for the Red Wings, and the Alexei Kolosov will be the starter for the Flyers. And he's got to be feeling pretty good. I mean, he's struggling right now with 3-5-1 with a 3.29 goals against average and an 88.1% save percentage. But he got the vote of confidence from Tortorella. He is the official number 2 goaltender. It's going to go Ersin, Kolosov, and Fedotov. Red Wings just had that game losing streak snap. They had a 5-gamer against Buffalo. That was the game that we stayed right the hell away from. It was like no decided edge whatsoever. And it was literally 50-50 across the board. Sabres were up. Red Wings come back. Red Wings end up winning the game 6-5. And I don't know. I think that's a collective exhale after you take that loss too. So I just thought this was a bad scheduling spot for the Red Wings, but I didn't make anything official. That's a heavy lean for me, that side. But obviously, from a fan's perspective, I would prefer the Flyers to lose. But if we got Mishkov, let's keep him rolling. Guy's got 29 points in 29 games. Definitely a guy to look for. I mentioned that Ducks and Maple Leafs. The spot that I like in there is Austin Matthews. First goal, last goal. Pretty straightforward. But I'm not going to drop a minus 364, so that one's kind of off the table, right? Shout out to Jay Main in the house. Let's go. Caps and Blue Jackets. I think the Capitals beat the snot out of the Blue Jackets. But I don't want to get involved here because I do feel like there probably is a degree of importance that they need to bring back Ovechkin. So they found a way to pick up a bunch of W's when he first broke his leg. I just don't want to get involved in it. I probably see some goals in that game too. I see goals in the Canadiens-Penguins game. Just giving you some thoughts there before we jump into an official spot that I do have for us here. And here it is. Here we go. First official NHL spot for me on the card here. Let's talk about the Vegas Golden Knights, the Winnipeg Jets. Golden Knights taking to the road, going up north. And again, it's one of those situations where you've got that market stabilization. Minus 129 moved to minus 121. So you look at that and say the line's moving away from the Jets. But it doesn't correlate because you open up with a plus 108 for the Golden Knights. That's moved to plus 113. Tricky situation. The Golden Knights have taken down the Jets the last 8 games. The concern I have, and I still voice it with the Vegas Golden Knights, is their lack of shooting. Now, it's picked up. I think they've increased by, I want to say it was like 3.5 shots a game over their last 7. So they're obviously addressing it. They recognize that it's an issue. But it's going to be a low-scoring battle. We got Aiden Hill popping off in this thing. He's 12-4. 12-4-2 on the season. He's got a 2.63 goals against average and a 90.5% save percentage. Now, on the surface, you say that's pretty good. But he does have 2 shutouts. So those 2 shutouts with zeros definitely pulled down his numbers. 3 or fewer goals allowed in 8 straight games. And because they're not allowing goals, they're winning games 6-1, 6-1-1 over that stretch. On the flip side, we got Connor Hellebuck, Vezina Trophy, 18-5, 2.18 goals against average, 92.7% save percentage, 3 shutouts. The Jets kicked the snot out of the Boston Bruins. Kicked the ever-loving dog shit out of them. Took him behind the shed. Clubbed him like a baby seal. All the things that went into it. But they're back home. They're feeling good. They've got 2 back-to-back games at home. Now this will be their 3rd. And the Vegas Golden Knights taking to the road after playing a big rivalry game against Dallas. That was the old Stanley Cup revenge spot. But I expect rust to be a factor here with this game with the Golden Knights. So you've got a revenge opportunity for the Winnipeg Jets that are sitting at home. They haven't had any travel. You got the rust on the skates, that ice. That ice, when you don't put them skates back on, does turn to rust on the blades. So you got rusty blades for the Vegas Golden Knights, having not played in 6 days, coming off that big win against Dallas. And you got this revenge spot for the Winnipeg Jets. Haven't won against this Golden Knights team in 8 straight at home with a goaltender that's been firing and feeling good about themselves. Going to lead me to taking a shot. I like this reasonable price tag. I think that streak ends. All streaks are due to break down at some point in time. And I do think in a lower scoring game, the Jets play. Vegas doesn't shoot a lot, but the Jets don't let up a lot of goals, right? They're just playing stellar defense. They're a low scoring type of game. Despite that 8-1, they've had 4 unders in their last 6 games. They are the team more equipped, is my point, to be in a lower scoring battle. Again, with revenge, playing against the Rusty Blades. Give me some Winnipeg Jets action to kick us off. Other factors that I was looking at in that game, the Jets versus the West. have been phenomenal. And a lot of this comes down, this is a tough one to look at trends because they've been so dominant to start the season. They beat up everybody. What, they have 15-1 to start their first 16 games, the Winnipeg Jets? We saw some regression. Shout out to TransCanada. These boys are live tonight. The Jets versus the West are 103-63. How about that? They've just been crushing and cashing 19-5 in their last 24 spots. 19-5. Their last 24 spots out there. Give me some Winnipeg Jets. Give us the bank on that one. We got some sharp information popping in. We're looking for the touchdown. We're looking to see the touchdown report. Oh, man, not all these fucking all these responses. Okay, game numero dos. We stay out west. Seems like the West does it best. Some late night hockey for us. I'm not in a rush to play those 7 o'clock games anyways. I just thought the lines were fucking wacky, and I don't know. We got other things going on here anyhow. Let's go game number 2, 8:30. We'll talk about the Edmonton Oilers, the Minnesota Wild. Home favorite, Minnesota Wild. I'm sorry, home dog, Minnesota Wild. Over 50% of the bets and cash coming in on the Minnesota Wild. The line's not moving. Edmonton's kind of started off a little slow, right? They were a little sluggish. They dealt with some issues with Connor McDavid, but man, beat up everybody now. 4-1 in their last 5 games. Tough loss to Vegas. The Golden Knights was a 1-0 spot. That was a big one on the road, but they get back home. They get 3 straight games. They get right against Columbus. They get right against St. Louis. They figured it out against Tampa Bay. Now they're going and taking on a surging Minnesota Wild that have been winning like crazy and scoring like crazy. Couple 3-2ers in there, but a 5-1 against the Ducks. They lost to LA 4-1, and they beat up Utah, the Yeti, 5-4. Big comeback. Big comeback in that game. Back and forth between these two in terms of the goaltenders that were jumping in the net here. You know, we're looking at Calvin Pickard. He is him. 6-3 with a 2.55 goals against average. 89.2% save percentage. I'd say serviceable. He falls into that serviceable realm for us. Minnesota Wild are scoring machines, man. 22-plus goal differential, 4th best in the NHL. So there's probably going to be a great deal of scoring in this game. And I think it's going to be, kind of steel sharpens steel. Isn't that what they say? Iron sharpens iron. Something sharpens the same damn thing is what it comes down to. And Philip Gustafsson goes on the other side. 14-4-3. Definitely their ace in the hole. 2.18 goals against average. 92.7% save percentage. Gustafsson's starting to get a little shaky. Now, here's where some of these factors come in. When you talk about the shutout factors, right? And how that skews or compromises that save percentage a little bit. 2 shutouts with a 92.7% save percentage. But if you kind of peel the onion back a little bit, coming off a bad game. Allowed more than 3 goals. Only the 3rd time on the season that he's done that, but 4 goals on 25 shots. Still playing fantastic, regardless. But this was a strong Edmonton play. I thought this is just an opportunity for this team. They always seem to start slow. Remember, they got their coach fired. They played very well, stringing together wins as well. The last season, the coach firing, right? 52-23 are the Edmonton Oilers when they come off a W. And they've been stringing them up. This is 2 good teams playing against each other. It should be a high-level hockey game. The one that's kind of what pushed me over the edge, there's Evander Kane. He's going to be out. I remember we were talking about his ex the other day, but Kaprizov. Kirill Kaprizov's the guy that is the concern. He's got lower body issues, and he is probably their stud goal scorer. And he's day-to-day, which means even if he does play, still going to be dealing with potential minutes restrictions, not going to be as physical and aggressive and chippy in front of the net. And so when you got your star guy, the firepower, the talent machine out there coming off the ice, even though they're scoring a lot of goals, I still think they played a little slower pace, and I think that's enough for the Edmonton Oilers to push these guys over the edge. And it's a great price tag. -125. Take a little whack at that. What else we got? Let's keep a brisk pace today. We got a lot of stuff to do tonight. Sharp report. I mean, these lines are just, it's because there's too many games. I hate to say that. But like all these lines are just kind of market correction. Now, there's been some big steam on the Panthers. They went from minus 120 to minus 154. And they got correlated movement with the Vancouver side from plus 100 to plus 152. But here we go again, market correction. Boston opens up at minus 118. They're minus 115. So you say, well, the line's moving away from them. But then you look at Seattle. They open at minus 102. They're plus 106. Now, Boston, of course, had their coach fired this year. But we talked about turning the leaf, kind of catching that win after they took a bunch of L's. L's they just took at Winnipeg 8-1. They had to sit around all yesterday with that sour taste in their mouth because they got busted up. But prior to that, they did beat some chumps. Montreal 6-3, Detroit 3-2, Chicago 4-2, the Flyers 4-3. And the Kraken, though, 1-2 in their last 3 games. Yeah, it was Florida. They did beat up on the Rangers 7-5. But here's the, we talk about the 0 goal theory and then how the following game they end up winning and scoring goals. How about the blown load theory? Team scores 7 goals on the New York Rangers. Then they lose that follow-up game at home. First game back, by the way. First game back, which we always talk about, is the toughest spot to play after a lengthy road trip. They score 7 goals the game against the Rangers. They go back home. They only get 1 against the Florida Panthers. So a little validation, a little proof source when it comes down to how some of these things kind of flock, if you will. And look, I mentioned this is the Sharp report analysis here. The books are most concerned with the Boston Bruins. And what's impressive about that, I think it's a real concern for these guys here. Originally, it looked like they were going Swayman. But somebody knew something, and they just kept pounding on the Bruins, the big bettors. And what happens? Korpisalo. 6-2-1 is Korpisalo with a 2.39 goals against average and a 90.9% save percentage. Now, it was Swayman that got lit up, so I think the expectation, even though they kind of false fronted it and said, well, it looks like he was the probable guy or whatever the language was that they used behind it, get him out of there. You can't let him go back in there against the team in Seattle that you need to pick up a win against. And why not go to Korpisalo? 3 or fewer goals in 6 straight games. What happens when your goalie's standing on his head? You win games. 5-0-1 in those spots. Now it's Joey Decord on the other side with the Seattle Kraken. Get it. He's 12-6 on the season. Makes a lot of sense that they found some wins against him, but it's still the Seattle Kraken. I think Boston had to shake a leg. Yeah, they had to make some changes. It was more perception than reality in firing the coach. But man, the Kraken has a home dog. How about this one? Here's one to write down. When you see the Kraken has a home dog, go the other way. If you fade the Kraken in the home dog role, you are 28-7 in 35 games played. 28-7 when they qualify as a home dog. Go the other way. And that's what we're going to do. The Bruins, of course, if you want a counterpoint, validation there as well. After a loss, scoring 2 or less goals. Remember, they came off that loss and only scored 1. Quote, they're 48-20 after a loss. Remember a couple of years ago, if the Bruins lost a game, they never lost that second game. Now, obviously, they've come a ways from there, but still very much a relevant factor here with this team. If they don't score, they've got too much firepower is what that tells me to not come back out there and produce the next game. And that's what we're going to see. And that's what we're going to take. We're going to follow that sharp action. We'll give you some numbers to validate it. Some positives on the goalie changes as well. And then you look at this number, and it is a fantastic price. If I was going to give anybody a 2-unit investment or advice, it would probably be this one. But I got one more play for the NHL for you guys. Look, it's not sexy. It's a plus 150 spot with some big favorites here and trying to knock the edge down a little bit here. Now, Tampa Bay's playing the Calgary Flames. A little bit of movement to the Tampa Bay Lightning in that spot. Overall, from a goalie perspective, I think they get the mark. See what they've got here. Vasilevsky versus Bladder. I mean, both these goaltenders have been sharp, right? We talked about it. Now 6-5-4 is Bladder, though. Not the best He did just come off a 3-goal and 20-shot performance the last game. They'll start him again. They're going to run the tread right off the tires. And that's the part. This is that time of year we get towards Christmas where we start seeing these goaltenders that we saw this last year too. They just get too many games in a row under their belt, and then you're burned out, and they got to get a recharge in them, and they're going back to Vladar again, the 5th time in 6 games after getting dusted that last game out there. And then on the other side of things, you got Vasilevsky. He's going in for the 5th time. What's different in that Vasilevsky situation, though, is Vasilevsky sat out like the first month of the season. So he is your number 1 goaltender. You got to get him back in there. I think it was the hip thing or something like that he had going on out there. And 2 or fewer goals in 3 straight games. What happens when your goalie's stopping pucks? You win. 2-1 in their last 3 games in that stretch out there. It'll be an interesting game, but I like this Tampa Bay side. It's a little pricey at -148. I didn't want to get involved with why is it part of the parlay? Because I want the full game. I want the full game with the better team. The -1, this is like we talked about the other night with the -1. It could be a 1-goal game. It could go to overtime. You lost your regulation if you try to get the juice down there. If you take the -1, you got all that money tied up, and all you did is push. You don't want to tie that money up and end up with a push when we got a live stream. Let me tell you that. Because nobody captures those big tickets like we do. Then the other side of things is, it's the fucking Predators. They're terrible. They're horrible. They're 6-13-5 with UC Saros in goal. They're just a bad team. They got all that talent. We talked about this the other day. Imagine getting rid of that luxury tax and salary with guys like Stamkos and Marchessault. And if you're Vegas, getting rid of that, those teams don't make a difference. But obviously those players aren't making a difference because they're struggling to find those wins. Now, Jesus, let me see. Let me count this up. Real quick. It's bad. The Nashville Predators haven't won a game since November 23rd. Almost a month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight losses. And then a 2-4 stretch after that. I mean, this team is bad. And then you got Dallas coming in here with Ottinger. And then, the thing about the Dallas spot, that, the fact that they're home kind of does put them back into that lower scoring environment. I'm a big fan of Dallas home unders. I looked at the under. I just think at the end of the day here, what are we talking about? Nashville's going to find a way to come out here in this juice price tag. Now, this one is juiced, right? We're looking at -215s and -220s. And you got Ottinger going in there. 4th straight start for Ottinger. He wants to come in here and get himself another W. He's 14-6. Came off a decent game Sunday. 29 of 31 saves against those aforementioned Calgary Flames. So we'll take a little shot with Ottinger and Dallas. We'll put these two together. Just a positional matchups here with these goaltenders and scheduling spots to take Dallas and Tampa Bay. Shop it around. Be in and on around that +150. Let's see what's going on in the chat with you guys, huh? Thanks, man. Yeah, that was a good hit. That was a good one. 13 saying to some of the guys last night, I was like, give out a parlay live. You want every parlay to win, but you certainly don't want them to lose when you're giving them out live. So it was a good one. Shout out to everybody that's rocking with us here. If you guys haven't done so, take the time, hit the thumbs up button. Please support the team here, support the cause. Shout out to Damon Waring. Likes Iowa State money line. Arkansas State -9. New Mexico State +20.5. All right. The RH32, all the same game parlay. I just gave you a parlay. There's a parlay too. We'll have same game parlay for the NFL. Looking to pop that top. Betts has just posted a SGP. Damon likes that Chattanooga Evansville over 147.5. M says Vegas won the last 5. I thought it was 8. Is it 8 in Winnipeg? Let me look. Great. Silence, huh? Yeah, I think it's 8. I think it's 8 straight matches. That's what my notes had to say there for that. All streaks come to an end at some point. And shout out Smoke and Mirrors. Okay. All right. Shout out to Handoff Game 2 Completions. Pregaming. Gus Maker, my favorite player. All right. Nathan Cerna, do you like Iowa State? Mikey? I do, but this line is stupid. If you watch that line and what it's done today, they open up as a dog. Now they're favorite. It's a big favorite. They open up as 8, well, early look aheads, but 8.5. I mean, now you got 5.5s the other side for Iowa. I couldn't stay on that. It wasn't a big college basketball card tonight to begin with. So, Ricky taking a shot on a draw in the Kings game. Okay, I can see that. You know what's funny about that, Ricky? I was looking at some trends, of course, and we got a little line fluctuation one in this game here. Just kind of, if you look at some of the lines that these games have had over the last 3, you know, there's a model in place for those that show that the home team is picking up the W's, and it's a 979-5. I'm not going to get into the whole details of the model, but it's 979 and 562. Less than a goal. It's a 0.7 goal differential. If you look at the puck line, though, it's 572 and 969, and the goal differential is minus 0.8. So my point is, it's a great spot for the draw. For sure, especially when you see that it should be a tight game. Same thing, by the way, 2 games fit that model, the Jets and the Devils. So both strong straight-up plays, but not bad overtime looks, Ricky. Irish King likes Vegas. Real Madrid. This is Fave Bruins. Yeah. But I think Seattle's worse. I'm not happy with the way Seattle drafted from the way they built their team. They wasted some great opportunities. And look at Vegas. I mean, Vegas did it right, and they're still doing it right. JPC says, the court's pretty good. Yeah, that guy can play hockey. He can play hockey. Handoff Game says, no one wish you good luck on Connor McDavid fan. I'm an even watch. Douglas 23. Bruins should be fired up. I definitely like their chances. Yeah. And Trisha M will add my Ice Cats to Moolah's parlay to make it plus 300. There you go. Use it as a core. Add a couple legs to it. Why the hell not? Get your cash, Trisha M. It's Thursday. What happens with the Ice Cats on Thursday? I don't even want to put that out there. I'm not even putting that out there. Steering Company says Panthers Lightning parlay. Tampa, Dallas, Florida, Washington parlay. Okay. Chip's going to tail the Tampa Bay Dallas. He likes it. I think it's just a good spot with those goaltenders out there. KB, Johnny T, point minus 210 is a parlay leg. Bet assist if you can. He's 5 assists away from number 600. So keep betting. Excellent share. Okay. Let's move into the NBA, the association. 3 games on deck tonight. We've got plays in 2 of them. And there's a little correlation because there's they're both sharp from the sharp analysis there, the sharp spreadsheet that I get. We'll talk about them. The Pistons and the Celtics. I couldn't touch this game. Why is this line moving away from the Celtics when it's the Pistons? It opened at 14. It's down to 11.5. You got 58% of the bets and 51% of the cash on the Celtics. Yeah, it's gone down 2.5 points. Then you look at the total. It's gone from 229 down to 224.5. Reverse line movement galore with 89% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the over, and yet it's coming down, 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 down. I don't know. I mean, it looks like a point spot for me. I'll give you guys some trends. I told you I would start doing some more of this here, and I did come across a couple here. So, team shorter than a plus 4.5. Shorter means longer in this case because of the negative, right? 2 negatives make a positive. So shorter than plus 4.5 are 20 and 71 against the spread if they shot more than 44 threes and 22 free throws the last meeting. Well, who did that? Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are in a 20 and 71 spot, and the points per game margin is almost 6. They're also not a good rested team. When they're a favorite greater than 5 points with rest, they are 0 and 10 against the spread. And to make things even worse, they're 11-0 to the under when they have rest and a total that's less than 234. And they didn't cover the last game. I think it's a bad spot. I mean, you got reverse line movement showing you the under and showing you Detroit. I don't believe that, the Celtics are going to come out there and roll over and die in this game here. But I don't know if I'd be heavy to get involved with this. If I was going to take any side, it'd be Detroit and or the under with probably a, I don't know. I'll tell you who I would fade. Tatum. When games start to matter, Tatum disappears. Yeah. Oh, no Tatum. Oh, there you go. What did I just say? Games matter, he disappears. Oh, man. What a bum. What an absolute fucking bum. Oh, man. Oh, maybe Detroit does take him to the shed, huh? Maybe it's boots to ass time. I don't know. I'm not rooting for it. I don't want to root against my guy, Nasty Nate. I want to put that in the ether. But a game that I am involved in. What happened here? What the fuck happened here? I looked at this Toronto game. I like this Toronto-Miami Heat spot out there. We got some. Let me get the. I don't know why this closed. Let me pull this back up. Toronto open up as 8.5-point road dogs, have moved to 10. You got 73% of the bets and 72% of the cash. Remember what we talked about with these bets? The teams that are getting over 52% of the bets tend to struggle in some cases out there. And 225s really haven't done much. They got 87% of the bets and 87% of the cash on the over. And there's not much movement going on there. Now, what do we know about Toronto? They love covering spreads. I don't care so much about winning, but all we care about is making that cash. 4-1 in their last 5. I mean, look at it. They beat Miami the last time, by the way. They were at home. It was 119-116. They were getting 5. They beat them outright. So there is a little revenge narrative out there for Miami and back at home. Then they beat up the Pacers at home. And they took down OKC. Or they lost to OKC. They lost to Dallas. They lost to the Knicks. And it's always difficult playing in that first game after an extensive stand, whether you be home or away. We talk about it time and time again because it's true. It's the fallacies of this fucking thing. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight home games for the Toronto Raptors. Now they're busting out on the road. Let's talk about Miami. What does Miami do when they have rest? Miami does very well when they have rest. They're 6-0 against the spread going back a full year, all the way back a full season when they have 3 or more days rest. Pretty solid number out there. And you want to go all the way back to 2017, they're 30-6 against the spread in those spots. Now, Miami, mentioned that revenge factor. Miami's a perfect 9-0 to the over when they have rest, and it's a revenge game. Perfect 9-0 to the over. We saw this line. Hasn't really done shit, despite all that cash coming in on the over. Miami, however, 0-9 against the spread. After they win a game that went over the total, if the team they just played had a better record than the current opponent. Well, that's kind of the sell high, is what that is. They scored a lot of points. They played Cleveland. Cleveland's one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. They busted them up 122-113, catching 2.5 points at home. Will be their 4th straight home game. And it soared over the number. It was a 223. That is the very definition of sell high. And not only are you selling high, after that huge win, they're 0-9 against the spread. The lowly Raptors, who have been getting busted up day in and day out, but we know love to cover spreads, what do they do after a loss? And they've got plenty of them, 3 in a row. They're perfect 7-0 against the spread. A perfect 7-0 against the spread. It's good enough for me. And low juice. And low vig. Take a shot with them boys. And let me get to this. Oh, our guy's backstage. I see him ready to go. We'll see if he's got any NBA action for us here. Get him ready to roll when he gives us the green light. Giving himself a little adjustment. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Welcome in. Is he ready to go? He's in. He's in. He's in, baby. Ready to make him act, Daddy. What's up, brother?
What up? What up? How are we doing?
Fucking grinding, man. Grinding gears, trying to make that cash, trying to get that dollar. What do you think about this Raptors Heat game? You going to get some Toronto action with me? Plus 10?
No, but I like it. I haven't betted that, but that's what I'd be on. Raptors have been able to cover numbers, and what we do, that's what I want to bet on. Like, yep. So I mean, I agree with you. I didn't love it, and there's just one thing with the Miami Heat, simple as laying 10 double digits. I do not want to back them, period. Just no way, even how bad the Raptors are. So I like it. I mean, I looked at it a lot. I just didn't bet it, but I love it.
How about the Kings and Pelicanos? Anything for you on the Celtics and Pistons?
Zero. No NBA for me today. Nothing. If I were to bet, I'd take that 10.5.
Yeah.
With
Detroit.
Yeah. No, with Toronto.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Kings Pelicans. I got a spot here in this game here. This one will bring us to a close in the NBA, and then we will roll in. We got to see if there's any college basketball. We got to get moving. Thursday night football. The Kings open up at 5.5-point road favorites, have moved to 7s. Money coming in on the Kings, and the books are reacting. 58% of the bets and 62% of the cash on the Kings. Seems like a sucker spot. I'm going to lay all those points with the Kings on the road, but it's the Pelicans. And you got 80% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the over. This game has gone from 230.5 to 231.5. C-Mac. One single point of movement. I'll keep it short and sweet for you guys. I'm going to get not a side here. I certainly wouldn't. I don't want either of these teams in a side perspective. No way. They're both dangerous. You can't trust them to lay those kind of points. But I'll tell you what, I'll take the under. Look at a sell high spot. 4 of the last 5 for the Kings have gone over. 4 in a row have gone over for the Pelicans. And now they've corrected. We saw 222s, 223s, 224s have been going over the number. Now the books come in and they drop at 231.5 for us. Yeah. And why not talk a little bit, some trends here for you guys. Conference favorites, less than an 8 versus a team off a conference win of 30 or more points. Well, the Kings just busted up the Utah Jazz, 141-97. Did they use it all up? Maybe. But the under is a 36-16 run in those spots. 36-16. The Kings here, they're 0-10 after blowing out the spread and having less than 20 free throws. The books overcorrect and compensate for those guys. The problem is that New Orleans Pelicans are 0-7 after they allow 120 or more points in a conference opponent game out there. And they're getting busted up by almost 20 points a game. But here you go again. Yeah. Under Kings 11-0 to the under on the road versus non-divisional conference opponents that are coming off a win, or then when they are coming off a win It all says under to me in this game here. I'll take a lower scoring game. I'll take the under 231.5. I like the fact that there's all that money on the over. It's only moved 1 point, but it gives us a better number and a softer big line. So take a little shot with the under, C-Mac.
I get the move. I was seeing a lot of things earlier that you were talking about there with your almighty trends, Mikey. I would look at the team total under for the Pelicans. Problem is in the Kings, they're just never a team. They're not good defensively. I mean, they play in spurts, but they're usually not a team that I want to take an opposing team's team total under. But the Pelicans have just struggled from everyone who's been in and out and all that they've dealt with that haven't got there. So I look at their team total under. What is it? Just trying to find it here.
112.5 for the Pelicans is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Under 113 team total.
I like that. Like I might drop a little ad action in there too. Why not compound an under with an extra under? That's how I feel sometimes when
Bingo.
First half under and then the full game under. It's like, boy, I'm really putting my chips on the under in this one. 112.5. All right, keep a note on that. We'll keep a little side eye on that.
I mean, because they haven't done anything, like they just got to 116. I mean, and they had a win finally. I mean, it's been forever when they finally broke that bad losing streak against the Suns. But I mean, before that, they couldn't even get close to it, Mikey. We'll see tonight. I mean, 100, 108, 110, 93, 109, 112. That's right, beyond. Get it, got it, good.
Get it, got it. Good stuff.
OD, what up, what up? Here, my man. Kelly, as always. Throwing it up in your jugular. What's going on? Skunk Blaster. Pelicans, money line. All right.
Pelicanos, huh? Taking a big swing with that money line, Scott. I like it. I like it indeed. What happened here? What am I doing here? Where am I? Kelly D says Barnes just got hurt. Big loss. That was the Barnes bus game that we were all over too. We were dialed into that guy being a piece of dog shit. And he was. But he got 2 threes. Or he got over 1.5 threes. And we needed his under. So it wasn't that bad. All right, college basketball. Listen, I don't have a ton of college basketball action here. I've got one game. I'm not going to come in here without a game. I did bet some cash on. I did take Citadel. I don't love Citadel. I'm not going to give it to you guys as an official pick. If you're looking for 7 o'clock college basketball action, I mean, 93% of the bets, 93% of the cash are coming in on Citadel. Citadel Campbell, C-Mac, any thoughts here? I mean, 4-5 Campbell, 5-3 Citadel. Cash coming in on these guys. They are the sharp report analysis there. They came through, and I mean, they really don't. I don't know. These are horrible teams. 1-3 in the last 4 are Campbell. Coastal Carolina was a tough one for them, probably a little heartbreaker. 58-57 loss as a 5-point favorite. They're just not performing. They're 1-3 against the spread as Campbell the last 4 games. 3 unders in a row in that spot there, but I don't know. I'd lean to Campbell, but because you're getting the point. Ultimately you're just catching a better number than they should win the game, but I don't know that's enough to say that go play it. What do you think?
Yes, at this number, it's dipped down a little bit. This is under nothing here. Under with these 2 basketball teams. Super slow, both of them. Citadel, a little bit different years past where they've gone up and down. 246, which is lower, and I think they could be even more. And Campbell consistently has been a great under team. And so far this year, 2-5 to the under. They're 286. Both teams okay defensively and bad offensively. These teams just struggle. They struggle to score at times. They could go on plenty of 5-minute, shit like that where they just can't find a bucket and get it in. So under here, like this, if you got for me, this was just a play. Like if it was 139 or so, like 140, this was just dead. I put good amount of money on. It's gone down to 136, 135.5. Still lean that way here. this would be under or nothing.
It's a good look. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to be pessimistic about this. I think anytime there's a game on, you have a chance to try to make some cash. But I just, the Iowa State line. What do you think about that Iowa State? Somebody had asked a question earlier in the chat, specific to, do you like the Iowa State spot here? I mean, they're up to 6s now. Iowa's getting 87% of the cash, 87% of the bets, and 83% of the cash coming in on Iowa. And yet here they are at +6, and the line continues to steam away from them. Does that make sense?
Iowa State's the better basketball team. But in a rivalry like this, that doesn't mean they go here on the road and win by margin. It just flat hasn't happened. I think this team's very good, but still early, and they've had some good teams the last 5 or 10 years. But it's been a struggle to go there. I think they haven't beat Iowa there in over 10 years. And while I think they could win, I'm just not going to do it. I've done this a long time. Mikey, they might be the better team, but you're not going to catch me laying 6 with Iowa State. I will leave it at that in this game.
Yeah. Iowa's 6-0 at home.
But ding, ding, ding.
First true road game.
First true road game. Ding, ding, ding. I do this.
Would you ever intentionally give out losers?
Come on. Stop it.
Stop it. I told somebody earlier today, stop it. The spot that I looked at was Chattanooga and Evansville. And what's interesting here? This one made the sharp report for me as far as the total is concerned. And it's definitely suspect that there's no split share percentages on this thing whatsoever in the fine folks of action here. Lots of action, almost 11,000 tickets on it. We haven't seen any real movement on the side, but we see the totals drop from 150.5 to 148.5. And that was, in fact, the old steamer report of the day there was jumping in on this under. And I took the under. I thought, look, between these two teams, it's a pretty lofty number. And the fact that I wish I could see the splits behind it, but, I don't know. Chattanooga struggles on the road. They're 1-3. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way I was looking at it. Is just thinking lower production from these two guys here, from these two squads. Do they get out of the 140s? I don't know. I mean, ultimately, you look at Evansville, they're just not scoring. 65, 61, 66. They got 30 in there. They scored 30 points on Ohio State. Fucking bums. Then you got Chattanooga, though, and yeah, they're just coming off of that. They do score. They're hitting around the 80s on the team average, but 80 and 60 is 140, and we can still climb underneath this number. So I jumped in there. I like a little under action. I got the 149. There's plenty of those out there, I think, still 148.5. What do you think about this one here? I'm starting to see Pinnacle's down to 147.5 now. What do you think?
I'd only take the under, too, in this one. Evansville just has been bad to start the year. I mean, this team hasn't got 30% for 3. Bad free throw shooting team, which I don't like. And that makes them not a favorite, of course, in this one. Reasonably, this team's always been better at home, though. So I don't know if you really want to be putting money on Chattanooga. But I thought it was a little high as well. I mean, can they get into, with these teams, the shots drop. Like they're just, and well, you've seen it like with Evansville, they're not. Chattanooga a little bit better. And they can kind of get into a back and forth. Bad defensive teams, too. So that doesn't happen. I think this is, a solid play, especially just a lot of value here at the number.
I wonder, the more I kind of think about this, I wonder if Chattanooga as a side, I mean, they're 1-3 on the road, but that creates the value opportunity. That's why this number is as low as it is out there. And if you look at it, who the hell who's Evansville even beat? We just talked about the one squad, Campbell, the Fighting Camels.
Yeah.
And then Green Bay. Green Bay's got to be the.
They're bad right now. They don't defend. I mean, the guy's doing a radio show. It was bad. I took him once earlier. I think I'm 1-1, but yeah, I don't really want them right now until I see something different.
Yeah. All right. let's roll. Let's get into. No, I know, KB. I know. I was just making a joke. I was just asking C-Mac if he would ever give out a loser on purpose. We know he would. He's got too much integrity for that. C-Mac, Thursday night football.
That's wild, by the way, to even say that. I mean, no, I mean, that you even brought that up. If you were around me, I'd just slap the shit out of your fucking bald head for saying that. But you're lucky there's a screen here.
What?
Between me and you. To bring that up, and I fucking intentionally give a loser.
I was making a joke.
Take that somewhere else. I know. I'm just saying that. Come on. Get the fuck out of here.
There was already a comment and saying, hey, would you ever? You know what's funny, though, is some of those book relationships do. It's not funny, actually. It's not good, right? But some of those book relationships do pay out percentages based on their clients' losses, the guys that they refer to them.
Oh, they do. If you sign up through them and you lose. Oh, yeah. I've talked to plenty of people that about that, Oh, yeah.
Well, we got a big.
No, I know you're not saying me. I know.
No,
I never knew. I knew that. I knew you were talking about someone else, but that's just crazy in my mind to think that it's like even. Yeah.
There's some people that I've listened to in the past where, and I don't think they're intentionally. I know they're not capping games though. I know like when they're basing their reads off of the team's PlayStation settings and
yeah,
this team's good and this team's like I hate to say this team's just better than that team. I try everything I can not to look at that, but sometimes you do get into the positional matches and they are or they aren't. But let's look at the Rams. The Rams and the Niners, divisional battle, second time in the season. San Francisco opened up as a 6.5 home favorite. We know that the San Francisco 49ers are literally falling. Are they falling apart or have they fallen apart? I'm not entirely sure what the line is between them. But I know you got 68% of the bets and 63% of the cash on the Rams. This line went from 2.5s to 3s. Start to see some 2.5s. And you got a 47 that's moved to 48.5. 78% of the bets, 72% of the cash. Look, I'm not going to overcomplicate this one for you guys. We'll keep it simple. We're getting down to the wire here so we can get back into this next live stream here. What are you doing with these Niners? And listen, it's not too late to cancel your bets. If you're going to take a cash out, here's something I learned. If you have DraftKings particularly, call the service team. Don't just take cash out. The fucking tax that's DraftKings. I made a big mistake the other day. I wanted to take a first goal scorer, and I added an extra 0 to the back end of it. And a 10% cash out. What I learned in that process is had I contacted the service department instead of just taking the cash out, then they would have been able to help me avoid that tax. So there's a little takeaway for you guys. Now, FanDuel, some of those other books are a lot better about that. They're a lot more generous. But look, C-Mac, this Niners team is beat to shit. Everybody's hurt. They're on their, 8th string running back? Everyone's out of this game. Now, here's the problem. If you want to get into the X's and O's in this game, the offensive line is battered and tattered, and that's going to be a problem for Brock Purdy. Now they got their left tackle out, right? Who wasn't there? Where's my notes? Where did I put that down? Anyhow, add to that.
For who? The Rams or the?
For the Niners. Am I off?
Yeah. It's what's his face?
T scumbag?
Yeah, that's your line. Scumbag. Scumbag dad.
Trent Williams being out is an issue. I look further at this one here and I thought to myself, well, I think Nick Bosa's a big factor on that defense. You're going to shit. You got linebacker issues. Dre Greenlaw's out.
He's in.
The other side of things, look at the right.
Greenlaw's in.
Oh, is he in? I saw his question.
He's in.
If he's in or not.
Yeah, someone put in here too. Yeah, he's in.
Cooper Kupp. Puka had a great game that last spot out there. Unbelievable. But look, Yeah, it's the second time in the season when divisional opponents meet, and it's an outdoor game after week 11. So generally that's going to be the second time of the season, but at least later in the season, it's outdoors. Divisional opponents have gone under the number almost 60% of the time. First pass, you look at this thing and you think, well, shit, these guys have gone over. That last game was a track meet. They had, 58 points or something like that? It's going to be a little bit of drizzle. Not much wind. And you're going to give me 3 points with the LA Rams I don't like that they just came off that. I would like them a lot more if they just lost to the Bills. They'd probably be getting 4.5s or 5s. But look, man, the Rams have won back-to-back games. They're getting healthy. Sean McVay's a schemer. He can strategize and come up with some shit to figure out how to take down a depleted team. I don't want the first half, though, because I think with those injuries, that's going to create that separation. Those guys are going to get tired. Those backups that don't have the same skill set get into that second half, and they're getting gunned and gashed all day long. Give me the Rams, man. I think the Rams +3. I'll give you some X's and O's behind them too, C-Mac, but maybe we'll see. I know the Rams are 0-6 as a dog if they've covered more spreads than their opponent. That kind of says that the Vegas line adjustment's a little overreaction. And the overs have a ton of great numbers behind them. Now, you guys already talked about the Thursday Night Football. Brock Purdy's 4-0. Those were some bad Thursday Night Football games, though. This year, we've been blessed with some really strong games. And, then you look at some overs. The Rams are 7-0 to the over when they're playing against a conference team after a home game where they average 12 or more yards per reception. Well, that just says can't stop them. They're getting big chunks of yardage. But the 12 yards a game or 12 yards reception per in the game there, that says trouble to me for that secondary for this 49ers team. They are 7-0 with the Niners as a favorite, less than a -10.5 versus a team that got 33 or more points the last game. And we know that Rams-Bills game set the record for points in the season, right? Wasn't that the big one for the Rams and Bills where they scored, they have 100 points in that game? It was crazy. 80, I think it was like 86, wasn't it? 44-42, I believe, was the final.
Mm-hmm.
So in any event, I'm jumping in on the Rams. I haven't decided what I'm going to do on the total yet. I kind of lean to the under, but it could be a track meet. Here's the thing. The problem I have the most. You got Brock Purdy, who I don't think is he's not in his statistic, we can argue whether or not he's a top 10 guy. I don't think he is, personally. But that being said, you're going to take a guy that even if he is marginally in the top 10, his guard and his offensive tackle are out of this thing. And he's going to be running for his life, which means he's going to be chucking that ball around. That's why I went to Jennings. I think Jennings is a solid look from a touchdown perspective. The scheme that the LA Rams defense runs in that zone coverage does allow for touchdowns. Jennings, target rate's gone up. He loves the zone coverage play out there, and the Rams run the coverage option fourth highest in the NFL. So from a Jennings perspective, he did just come through, by the way, moments ago as the sharp touchdown report. And then you look at the Rams. They do allow touchdowns to receivers. I think those fit together. The reason I started with Jennings, C-Mac, is because I think if you're running for your life, you got to chuck that ball around there. And if they're down, which I think they will be, it even increases the likelihood of the offense needing those weapons and going deep downfield even more. Then you take out, Brandon Ayuk, and Jennings' usage goes up. So I'm going to take a little Jennings. And then I took Kyren Williams. Give me a little Williams action as well. First touchdown 3 games in a row for the LA Rams. And I think anytime touchdown for Kyren Williams, once they get up, they just run that ball, kill that clock, and keep things moving. So I took Williams and Jennings. I got a plus 350 price tag for the 2-leg primetime parlay. C-Mac, what do you think?
I mean, good luck with the Rams. They finally figured out McVay really struggled against this 49ers team, 3 or 4 years before. They beat him the last 2. But I think he had lost like 7 of 8 or 8 of 9. They kind of got beat down by the 49ers. And that's even when they had, went to the Super Bowl a few years ago. I was on the Rams against the Bills, so 3.5. That game went wild. I can't take them here. The short price is scary. And I think San Francisco could get a win here at home. We talked about the pieces getting healthier. I think everyone has seen after last week. I mean, there's just going to be a shit ton of points. And maybe there is, but I don't buy it. I lean to this under here. 49, 48 and a half. Maybe we get fireworks in it. But I think the defenses play better in this game. 49ers finally got a good win. But it's been tough to figure not only them out this year and everything they've dealt with, but the Rams. I mean, they've gone just, it seems like game to game, half to half. Like, I don't know what we've been getting. And they have covered a number or two as favorites, but normally I like them in this dog roll. I just can't take them here at all. So that's it. I have nothing else on this game. I was looking at props. I haven't moved on, anything here.
I think it's going to be a good opportunity. I see you guys in the chat. Here's the thing. And Razors, I see Razors comment. Rams beat the Bills. Bills beat the Niners. And now the Rams are getting points. The Rams beat the Bills because it was a bad scheduling spot. I mean, they won the game, yeah, and it's a big win. And should they be getting points? It was a terrible scheduling spot for the Bills because they had just taken down the Chiefs, and now
that's why I was on.
So that's exactly why that when you kind of play that ladder game of they beat them and they beat them, but why are the points? I'm gonna take that one out of the equation. I don't think that Rams Bills game is a fair comparison. The Bills beat the Niners.
No, that's just a situation. That's not how I just thought it was a flat spot. I mean, if they don't get up for this, you ain't getting up for nothing. This is the rivalry you want to be talking about. Rams, 49ers, Thursday Night Football. Listen, it's not enough that I'm like, go 49ers. I'm fucking laying the mortgage, the house on it. But,
Fuck. All right. We'll see what happens out there. Razor says they had to give 120% last week. And now on a short week, they have to give 120% until the Bills defense come in there at 50%. I'm going to look forward to arguing that point with Razor Sharp here in about 25 minutes. We're going to pop off live.
What is real quick? Joe T, I love him. What the fuck is he talking about? Stop it, C-Mac. Rams smash. Good for you. He's a Rams fan. I just talked about I backed him. Like, chill out, my man. Rams were a better team that day. They were. It was a back-and-forth game. They won. I mean, what the fuck?
More points.
Stop it.
All right, Steve, we're going to put the bow on the show. I got to get moving here. I got to get a little change of gear here for this big live stream. But tell everybody what's cooking, man. Hitting the books. What are you guys going to do? I know you got a big doubleheader coming up. Talk to us.
Yeah, just go to Hitting the Books. Like and subscribe. That is it. We will be doing more college basketball here shortly in the next coming weeks. Stay tuned. That's it.
Excellent.
Like, subscribe.
Like, subscribe.
Do it here too. There's 98 in here. There's only 70 likes. Hit the like button.
Get that like button in there on the way out the door. And we'll give you guys a lot more action as we get rolling. So Textiles, Montreal's on the board. You guys, let's get to work. We got to get moving. 7:45. Make sure you do check out Hitting the Books. Them boys are going to give you guys bowl games. They're going to give you two editions of bowl games. 2 separate shows breaking down the first half of the bowl game season and then the second half.
No, there's going to be multiple shows. So it's just different now because of the breakdown. We'll be a few more weeks. So 3 or 4 more weeks on Monday. Yeah.
Giddy up. Ramon Scott gives us the update. The minutes 9, Virginia still 2. A low scoring battle. Go figure with Virginia. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate everybody rocking with us. Thank you all for your contributions today here. Shout out to Oldie gifting a sports money membership. And get yourselves ready. Get those bets placed. Get tuned up. And let's get back here at 7:45. Let's make some money. It's live bet night, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you guys all real soon. Take care.